83. Make your appointment now. Contact Versity Blood Center, Lake County Rotary, or WRLR for more information on the blood drive. Once again, it is Sunday, December 26th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And happy holidays from your friends at the Voice of Lake County, 98.3 FM, WRLR.
Feelings, nothing more than feeling, trying to forget my feelings of love, teardrops rolling down on my face, trying to forget my feelings of love. Feelings, for my life I'll feel it. I wish I've never met you, girl. You'll never come again. Feeling, whoa, feeling, whoa, feeling.
You're listening to 98.3 FM, WRLR LP, Round Lake, Illinois.
Exactly. And that means it's time for the Improv Leadership Radio Show with your host, Ted Schneider, coming to you live from the Round Lake Beach Metro Station every Tuesday from 6 p.m. on, again, WRLR 98.3 FM. That's right. Tonight is our fifth installment, and we've got a bunch of little things to talk about here. But before we do that, again, I always like to start out with our local loyal listener shout out. I want to say thanks, Zach Schneider, for listening. My oldest, longest, loyalist listener, along with his brother Alec. Thank you, Alex Schneider, for listening as well. Bella the Wonder Dog, who never ceases to amaze me in terms of her feats of flexibility and athleticism. Also, we want to say thanks to Eva, to Ellen, and to Susie tonight. Again, people that called in or texted and said, hey, I'm listening. And also Wiz. Wiz, thank you very much. That's a code name. His real name is Tom, but we go by Wiz. So anyway, again, there's more people, but those are the folks that at least reached out and sent me a text and said, I'm listening. Do a shout out. So I did. Anyway, again, Improv Leadership, your host Ted Schneider, every Tuesday from 6 to 7 on WRLR 98.3 FM. And if you're lucky enough to be close enough to hear us on the airwaves, 98.3. If not, the Radio Garden app or the TuneIn Radio app will get you there as well. So I'd start out today with some positive things. A lot going on in the world with, the Omicron variant and just a bunch of things in the news and just people in general acting a little strange because it's the holidays. But here's 22 habits that'll make your life a little more peaceful every day. It's from the Huffington Post. Older article. I'm actually doing some of the retro articles I've accumulated over the years. Again, this is my 11th year, and the man who comes on at 7 to 8 on Info Explorers, Bob Slipke, and I have been together over 11 years. So, long story short, 22 habits that'll make your life a little more peaceful each day. Number 1, throw out, sell, or donate everything you don't need. And that's kind of a minimalism, focus as well. You think about it. Get rid of what you don't need, throw it out, sell it, or donate it. I'm going through some boxes that have been sitting in storage of sorts for 7 years, and guess what? A lot of that stuff is like, why am I keeping this? Why do I have this? So you want to make your life a little more peaceful, throw out, sell, or donate. 2, organize everything you do. Everything. Some people are more organized than others, but why not organize everything you do? It's a little less time consuming. It'll also give you more time back if you don't have to look for things, run around the house, trying to figure out where your keys are, where this is, where that is. But organize everything you do. And don't consume what you don't need. Let's say 10 years ago, between Thanksgiving and New Year's, it says, you know what? Between Thanksgiving and New Year's, I'm going to stop before I get to be a blimp that could be in the Macy's Day Parade. In other words, stop before you get super full, because by then you're well over the full mark. So don't consume what you don't need. And a lot of times, you're bored or you're looking for snacks. And if they're handy, it's obviously, pretty convenient. But consume what you want. Don't consume what you don't need. Put yourself before your work life as often as you can. And for a lot of people, myself included, that's hard to do. Put yourself before your work life as often as you can. And why not? Think about it, right? There's some exceptions, but in general, make sure you make time for yourself and put yourself at least at an equal basis of your work life, especially if you're working from home. As we talked about weeks ago, a lot of people are struggling with the balance between, raising your children and then maybe extended families and your significant other. And again, you're always there. Your office is your life. Do something that makes you meditative. In other words, take a minute. Stop and smell the roses. Do something that gives you in a kind of a meditative state. In other words, something that you can relax, clear your mind, take a breath, and collect your thoughts. And your day might be a little more peaceful. A lot of times you have to almost shut that, voice off in your head, unless it's the voice that says don't run across the street in traffic when there's traffic. That voice keep. But in general, shut your mind off a little bit and do something that makes you meditative, be it yoga, be it Zen, some kind of Zen thing, or, just something that makes you stop and slow down for a minute and just quiet yourself. Again, this is 22 habits that'll make your life a little more peaceful every day. Huffington Post. Learn to turn daily chores into therapeutic practices. For example, bathing. Well, if you're going to turn bathing into some kind of therapeutic thing, I guess you can do that, but like vacuuming for me is kind of cool. I love the vacuum, and I'll vacuum and kind of make it a therapeutic practice because you see garbage and lint and dust and dirt being picked up. Plus, you get to push it, a little exercise, get some steps. So whatever your daily chores are, try to look at them as more therapeutic than I've got to do laundry. I've got to vacuum. I've got to clean the toilet. Cleaning the toilet's cool. You swish that thing around. So again, make it a game if you have to. Start to build a commonplace book. I guess a collection of quotes, ideas, passages. And I was just going to say also a journal. Why not do some kind of storybooking of your life? So I think there's a combination of things here. Do some kind of collection of quotes, ideas. You see something in the paper. You see something on a website. You do a screenshot. You write it down. Someone gives you something, a card, anything. But start putting together a collection of quotes and kind of cool thoughts, pictures, whatever it is. And at the same point, start to journal. Now, I guarantee you that'll be peaceful. If you can start to put some things that are mindful, that are a little peaceful, that are a little, comforting, relaxing, and again, a collection of them that you can go through. I've got stuff. I've got letters from people that I know in college, all right? People that wrote me letters in college. We're talking 1980. And handwritten letters I came across the other day, and it was amazing the calming effect that had to kind of time travel back, whatever it was, 40 years, or 41 years, and really kind of relive that part of my life. And it was, again, a handwritten letter that someone sent me. So it's kind of cool. So, again, put things together, a collection of cards, quotes, letters, newspaper clippings, magazine clippings, whatever, as well as your journal, some thoughts, some things that happen well. They talk about, in general, when you go to bed, right before you go to bed, think of 3 things that you're grateful for that occurred that day that made the day. 3 positive things that you're grateful for. Well, if you do that every day, you start to build on successes. You start to build on things that you did that went well and it meant something to you. And it also helps you focus on the positive when sometimes you think there's a lot of negative going on in your life with others in terms of the world. It refocuses you back on, again, some positive things that you did that day that made the day special but also made the day go well for you. What else? Burn candles at night. The flame is mesmerizing and calming. It'll make your space smell better as well. True, burning candles is cool, but I definitely would blow them out before you go to bed. Especially if you have a dog or a cat that likes to play with them, or you get up in the middle of the night and you sleepwalk. Candles at night are cool, but almost like smoking in bed, I would extinguish them when you go to bed. But candles can have a calming effect at night, kind of a glow, especially if you're sitting there with somebody else. Candlelight is kind of romantic. Candlelight softens everything. I know I look better in candlelight. I look better in black and white as well, but most people see in color, so I'm kind of screwed. But anyway, I digress. Replace your daily coffee, tea intake with hot water and lemon and honey. That sounds nasty. You want to try? Go ahead, though. Replace your daily coffee and tea with hot water, lemon, and honey. Sounds like you're sick, but it does say it's relaxing and yields incredible health benefits. Again, if you can get past hot water with lemon and honey, which sounds kind of like, ugh. It is cheaper and natural than your usual latte, which, again, some of those lattes and some of those drinks at Starbucks or someplace similar is all calories. All you're drinking is sugar. If that's what you want, go for it. Anyway, if you don't drink 45 cups of coffee, I'd say, maybe go down to 20. Only paying cash. Now, it might be difficult to become a habit, but you won't be able to imagine how you did it anywhere else. And I do the same thing. I try to pay, when I'm going out in particular in cash, only because you're more conscious of how much you're spending. I know people that get in trouble with credit cards, and they, and next thing you know, they got a lot of expenditures they have to pay for. I know people in the past that have lived off of credit cards. They would live, their life off of 3 or 4 credit cards and pay the minimum. And which one is low? Well, I'll use this one. If you pay in cash, and you can pay in cash. If you can't, go right ahead. I understand cash flow, income, inflation, hard times, etc. But if you can pay in cash, well, you realize not only what you're spending, but it all adds up. And you'll be surprised how quickly the cash goes, because it doesn't take much today to, burn through some cash. Again, this was it 20 things or 22 things? 22 habits that'll make your life a little more peaceful every day. Huffington Post. Again, this is the Improv Leadership Show with your host, Ted Schneider. Number 12 is recite mantras. Well, I guess that's cool. Like, I'm in financial abundance. I am always taken care of. I am successful. I guess whatever floats your boat. And I think in that sense, a lot of people will tell you to imagine the future you want. So if it's a mantra, if it's imagining the future you want, whatever it is, go for it. But again, you put the positive out there. You put what you're looking for. You're looking at the end game, almost like predicting your future in a positive way. I know people that either play the victim, woe is me, this always happens to me. Well, then the question I have is, what are you doing to change things? I talked about this many times. It's change it or change you. Change your environment, change where you are working, change the person you're with, change whatever it is, or yourself. That's all it is. Change it or change you. Number 13, stop interacting with people who aren't positive influences and don't apologize for doing so. That's true. A lot of times we have to cut our losses, cut our baggage, cut our losses. It's like a plane that can't take off. Too much weight, it's not going to take off. And you're going to think about it in these terms, right? I'm not a pilot. I'm not an aviator, but I think I know a little bit about it from people I know that are pilots. If you have too much weight, you're not going to get off the ground. Or once you do, you might have difficulty staying up in the air. To me, it's the same kind of thing. Don't interact with people that aren't positive influences in your life, because you're not going to take off. You are not going to be able to fly and sustain your path if you have too many people that are not positive influences in your life. And don't apologize. You know what? You are in charge of your own career, your own life, period. You are the director, the producer, the key grip, the starring actor, the writer. Make your life what you want it. Cook your own dinner. There's something very grounding about combining ingredients and working with foods and making your own meals. Sure, I know my son Alec loves to cook. God bless him. He's a great cook. He loves it, and that's great. Me, if I spend more time preparing than I do eating, it's not worth it. It's a, return on my investment. Today I zapped some pizza, some pasta from Maggiano's, and I bet I had it done in less time than it took to make, which meant I put it on 2 minutes in the microwave. But again, if you like doing that, cook your own dinner, cool, all right? I definitely would do that versus takeout all the time, unless it's healthy takeout. And by the way, I gave up hot dog and bologna if anybody's concerned. Trying to cut some of the food out of my life that might not be the best. Just an FYI. I digress. Observe what you unconsciously consume. Observe what you unconsciously consume, and that's good. And that goes for a lot of things, but to go in more detail, I will in a second. But right now, let's do a little legal ID.
You're listening to 98.3 FM, WRLR LP, Round Lake, Illinois.
Exactly. And this is the Improv Leadership Show with your host, Ted Schneider, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Right before Info Explorers with Bob Slippy from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We were talking about 22 habits. Let's see. It was 22 habits to make your life a little more peaceful every day from the Huffington Post. And we were on number 15. Observe what you unconsciously consume. Food, music, reading, TV, social media, etc., etc., etc. Don't underestimate the power of things you don't even realize you're letting into your life. And we've talked about that before. Think about it. People will be on TikTok or YouTube, and it's one after another, one after another. I guess if you're retired, got nothing else better to do, you've given up on life, go right ahead. But I would take a break and be very conscious of what they call opportunity costs. Opportunity costs are, I just spent an hour mindlessly doing nothing on social media. Could that hour have been spent doing something more productive? Working out, writing the great American novel, perhaps reading the great American novel, doing something educational on a TED Talk, which I love that name of that website, TED Talks. Anyway, the point is opportunity costs. When you do something, there's also a trade-off that you could have done something else. Anyway, we are talking about number 16. Ask yourself what kind of life you'd like to live and base your goals off that idea. Well, duh, sure. What kind of life do I want to live? Example, you want to start a business, or let's say you want to be more successful. You want to get into a specific line of work. Whatever it is, align that goal, that life you'd like to live, with the things you do. Support it. It's like your brand. We talked about before. I've always talked to my kids about their brand. Pepsi has a brand, Coke has a brand, RC has a brand, but you have a brand as well. Every individual is a brand. When you say your name, or someone says your name, images come to mind, or an image comes to mind. Well, to reinforce that image, you have to keep it up. If you want to be known for being on time, for being funny, for being helpful, then you have to be on time. You have to be funny. You have to be helpful. Whatever it is you want your brand to be, you have to reinforce it. It's real simple. It doesn't happen by accident. It does not happen by magic. But I digress. Again, ask yourself what kind of life you want to live and base your other goals off of that and reinforce it, support it. Why not? Make more realistic goals than you normally do. Well, they always talk about aim for the sky and maybe you hit a tree. You don't actually be accomplishing any more or less than usual, but you remove the guilt from believing you should have done more. And I believe that. Make more realistic goals. I would aim high, shoot high. I wouldn't dumb them down okay, I will get out of bed today and I will put my pants on. Yay, I met my goal. 2 words, big deal. Okay. They can be realistic goals in some form or fashion, but again, do you think Steve Jobs had realistic goals, or Jeff Bezos, or Elon Musk? I bet a few of their goals were a little bit outside the lines with their crayons. Find your ultimate joy in the simplicity of everyday life. You know what? You want to have a peaceful life? You want to make your life easier? Find your ultimate joy in the simplicity of everyday life. We don't have to have all these expensive electronic devices or spend your time at concerts, especially with the variants of COVID out there. The point is, you can find joy in the simplicity of everyday life. And if you can, well, you'll spend a lot more time running around doing things, but also you'll be happier as a human being. So, you know what? Find your ultimate joy in the simplicity of everyday life. We got a couple more here. Again, this is 22 things to make your life a little more peaceful every day. Again, a Huffington Post article. Pay attention to what you seek. And I kind of talked about that. You'll find no matter what, if you consciously want is to see things that are wrong with your life, well, then you'll reinforce that. We talked about that before. In other words, look for the positive, put the positive out there, and see what the quote-unquote universe gives you back. Develop a personal philosophy and let it guide you through your life and all your decisions. Again, that makes sense. Again, you're going to have a brand, a mantra, a goal, your objective in life, and align yourself, align your goals, your actions with that focus. Stop trying to police yourself. Contrary to your instinct, much of the effort you exert to hold yourself together is useless. No, I don't do that. The more you integrate every aspect of who you are, the less you are unknowingly exerting energy towards suppressing feelings. Don't try to police yourself. Just let it go. You are what you are, or as Popeye would say, I am is what I am. You know what? Just let it go. Do what you got to do and be who you are. And as the book says, you do you. I'm not going to criticize you for what you're doing, unless, of course, you're parking, your car next to my house, and you come back 4 or 5 or 6 times during the day. I might have some concerns about that. But other than that, you do you. I'll do me. I'm not going to criticize you. Don't criticize me for the way I live my life. Unless, of course, it's infringing on your freedoms, like, I'm throwing my garbage on your front lawn or, whatever it is. Lastly, stop believing the way you perceive things is the way they actually are. Leave yourself room to be surprised. Remember that when you're in a place of fear, you're not seeing things clearly or the way they really are, or paranoia, which I love. I mean, being paranoid, it's an incredible feeling. It's a real high, but I digress. The point is, a lot of times we think, things are horrible around us. Take a second, take a step back, and really assess it, or maybe ask for some feedback. Ask somebody for some feedback in terms of, hey, here's what happened. What do you think? And if they don't agree with you, just maybe there's a different way of looking at things. So it is good to get a balanced view of the world. It's like if you just read a certain magazine all the time. I know people that just watch Fox News, or people that just watch a certain show all the time. Well, you're going to get fed a steady diet of A, or B, or C, and that's all you're going to see, all you're going to hear, all you're going to know. Once in a while, you want to make your life a little more peaceful every day. This would be the 23rd habit. Go outside the box. Find things that aren't in your little comfort zone. Maybe get a difference of opinion. Ask somebody who's on the other side of the hallway or the row or the aisle what they think. And just maybe it'll balance your life out. Well, that was 22 habits that'll make your life a little more peaceful every day. I added the third one and made it 23 for a bonus. Well, folks, this is Improv Leadership with your host, Ted Schneider, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on WRLR 98.3 FM, coming to you live from the Round Lake Beach Metro Station. Again, if you're not familiar with WRLR 98.3 FM, well, then go to our website, WRLR.FM, and there is a host of variety. I mean, just incredible variety we have here in terms of talk shows, music, specialty stuff. We still cover high school sports like football and basketball. Rusty and crew do a great job with that. So again, WRLR.FM, and check out our programming grid. Well, to continue, 7 things you can control in life. And I don't have the author, but this is an older article as well, and I believe it was a guy, so we narrow it down to at least 50% of the population. But happiness and success however you define either one, has a lot to do with each other. And we make a million decisions every day, sometimes positive, negative, or neutral. Well, he's saying, let all the stuff you can't control go and start using your time to master what you can control. You know, while the healthier choice may be harder, it often pays off. He says you'll be surprised by just how easy these choices can be once you make an effort. So only 7 things you can control in your life. Number 1, your breath. Barring a breathing disorder, but most people don't even think about their breathing. You know, breathing is obviously important, but it's also the ability to focus on it. You know, and so is the ability to focus on it. So a lot of people, as we talked before about meditation, some type of relaxation, is to focus on your breath. Focus on taking deep breaths and letting it out, okay? Listen, feel. So that's one thing you can control. Obviously, you breathe on your own, thank goodness. I'd forget about it if I didn't have it done automatically. But you can enhance it. You can control your breath from, you know, when you're having a child, a woman's having a baby, and control the breathing to help with the pain and the contractions, to relaxation, meditation. Number 2, your self-talk. You know, we all have that voice in our heads, and a lot of it is negative self-talk. Well, you can control that, or you can just ignore it. Not the little voice in your head that kind of tells you, like I said before, don't run across the street when there's traffic, or maybe I shouldn't jump off the roof for a picture. Those little voices, sometimes, you know, listen to. But a lot of times, we have that little negative voice in our head that really isn't positive. It's a negative self-talk. Well, you can control that. You know, try talking to yourself with compassion. For example, instead of telling yourself you're not good enough, remind yourself you're worthy of love and attention, or that it's only okay to make mistakes. We all do. Number 3 of the 7 things you can control, your gratitude. You know, if you practice being grateful on a daily basis, your happiness and productivity will increase. Cultivating gratitude trains us to focus on hope, to remain inspired, and to be optimistic, leading us down a path of courage and resilience, actually to persevere in the face of setbacks. But it's also a good thing to do, and also might put you in a good mood. So gratitude, be thankful. You know, a lot of times I think people focus on what they don't have, or what they want, or how is, you know, Elon Musk worth, you know, $234 billion, and I'm not. Well, because he has a car company, and he has done things different than you. It's real simple. But I digress. But being grateful for what you have and showing gratitude to others, you'll be surprised. The benefits. Your body language. According to a social psychologist, Amy Cuddy, you can demonstrate power and confidence simply by changing the way you hold your body. You know, and that's true. A lot of people think I'm taller than I am. They all assume I'm around 6 foot, and they're only off by like an inch or so. The point is, it's how you carry yourself. It's your confidence. It's how you stand up straight. It doesn't hurt either, you know, to puff your hair up a little bit by an inch or two. That also gives you an advantage. But either way, your body language says a lot. Confidence, anger, you've given up, you don't care. People read body languages, even if you're on Zoom and can't see too much of it. You can control your body language. Number 5, your mental and physical fitness. That's true. You know, we all have control. And as a lot of people tell you, you get one body. That's it. Until we can do Invasion of the Body Snatchers, you get one body. One brain, one body, and that's it. You know, a set of eyes. I mean, you can get glasses, which enhances them, of course. But your mental and physical fitness, you have control over. You know, you can get up in the morning and say, it's going to be a good day. You know, I am charged up. I am ready to go. Or you can lay in bed and, woe is me. I'm tired. I don't want to get out of bed. Why should I? You know what? As I've told a few people, I jump out of bed usually like there's a fire. There's no pole to run down. There's steps instead. But the point is, psych yourself up. It's going to be a good day. But only if you allow yourself that freedom. So you do have control over your mental and your physical fitness. You don't like what you've got going? Again, change it or change you. Change your habits, change a routine, or add things that you need to put in there in terms of diet, exercise, maybe more sleep. Whatever it is, you have control over your physical and your mental fitness and well-being. Number 6, your diet. Of course you have control. You have control over what you eat. Unless you're in prison or in some kind of facility where you don't have much control or variety, you can put what you want in your mouth. Junk food, good food, more greens, more veggies, more fruit, whatever it may be, you have control over that. So take control. And lastly, your sleep. You know, sleep is critical to a lot of things. We've talked about this before. Focus, concentration, having the brain store memories and the brain regenerate. So you have control over that. Again, unless you're sleeping on the expressway or sleeping in your car as you're driving, you have control over your sleep. Set aside the right amount of time that you need to be successful and get a good night's rest. So again, that was 7 things that you have control over. Some good ideas. And again, I think a lot of times we focus on things we don't have control over. Well, guess what? Focus on the things you do have control over, and you will be surprised at the results. Well, this is Improv Leadership with your host, Ted Schneider, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on WRLR 98.3 FM. It's time we take a little break.
You're listening to 98.3 FM, WRLR LP, Round Lake, Illinois.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for youth.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals into your body.
And nicotine, which can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media.
Many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping.
Because when you talk, they hear you.
Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
I can take care of myself. I can make a peanut butter sandwich. I can brush my teeth and I can give myself a bath. I can walk home alone from school. I can pick dinner from the trash behind the deli. I can watch the baby for the whole weekend. I can keep a baseball bat by my bed just in case there's trouble. Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself.
If you're in jail, who'll be there to take care of your family? Something to think about before committing a gun crime. Gun crimes hit home. This message brought to you by Project Safe Neighborhoods and the Ad Council.
Hi, everybody. This is Norm. And soon it's the season of giving, and what better gift is there than life? WRLR, the Versity Blood Center, and Lake County Rotary are hosting a blood drive right here at WRLR Studio at the Round Lake Beach Metro Station. This will be December 26th from 8 to 1 p.m. Yes, the day after Christmas. Stop here, give some blood, save some lives. For information, call Versity for an appointment, 800-786-4483. All participants must wear a face mask and have ID, and walk-ups are welcome. That's 800-786-4483. Make your appointment now for the blood drive here at WRLR. Sunday, December 26th, 8 to 1. Happy holidays from WRLR.
What's it like to walk in the shoes of a Navy SEAL, a beekeeper, a rabbi, a dentist, a ghost hunter, or a professional clown? Join me, Jim Wunderlich, on Word of Mouth, Thursday mornings from 11 a.m. to noon, and hear their stories. Captivating guests from a wide range of professions sharing a behind-the-curtain view of their jobs. Jobs such as an interrogator from Guantanamo, a private chef, a film director, a doctor, an orchestra conductor, a college basketball coach.
WRLR 98.3 FM.
Exactly. WRLR 98.3 FM. Coming to you live from the Round Lake Beach Metro Station. This is Ted Schneider, your host. As I mentioned, I'm here every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Coming to you live from the Round Lake Beach Metro Station. We were talking about things people do that might put a little more peaceful things in your life and things you have control over. So why not switch and keep on the same path? John Brandon of Inc.com talks about 8 things highly productive people do every morning. Again, John Brandon of Inc.com, INC. Number 1, finish one task right away. Well, okay, get up and make your bed. Or get up and take your pajamas off. Yeah, but anyway, finish one task right away. You get the point. Why not? That way you have a success. You just started out doing something successful and got things done. Cross it off your list. Boom. I shut my phone off. I used the bathroom. I made my bed. He probably means things a little bigger, but okay, let's start with a small task. So you want to be highly productive every morning? Do one thing right away. And if you want to be an overachiever, do like 3 things. Make your bed, use the bathroom, brush your teeth, whatever. Number 2, reward yourself for completing a task by lunch. Well, if that was the case, I get a bunch done by lunch. Also depends when you eat. If you eat a late lunch, I guess the point is he's a big fan of personal rewards. And I think there's nothing wrong with, rewarding yourself, but let's make sure it's not like, oh, I threw out the garbage. Let's reward myself. Yay, here's $1 or here's a snack or whatever. If you do something significant, I would say reward yourself. And reward yourself for completing a task by lunch. Unless you're building a rocket ship, I would hope you're getting a bunch of things done by lunchtime. Unless you wake up at like at 11:45, assuming lunch is at noon. Kill the bad attitude early. We just talked about that. Get out of bed with a positive attitude. Get out of bed with the desire and the will to I'm going to make this day special, unique. I'm going to have an impact on the world, make a difference. The whole carpe diem, seize the day. Kill the bad attitude early, no matter what's going on, okay? The most productive people in the world have an attitude of productivity. This will be a good day. And, same thing for myself. No matter what my to-do list looks like, personal, work, I try to kill that bad attitude or that depression or that low, whatever it is, and get up. Boom. Get up mentally and physically. Number 4, eat a healthy breakfast. Now, there's some people say, skip breakfast or fast or whatever. Well, you just did fast. If you slept for 6, 7, 8 hours, hopefully you weren't eating. Hopefully you didn't wake up at 2 in the morning, have a snack, and use the bathroom and go back to bed. But if you start with a healthy breakfast, the right amount of protein, some people eat eggs. I don't. I can't stand them anymore. But, eggs, fruit, some protein, anything with a natural sugar boost. I'd stay away from the triple latte, squirt of this, squirt of that, foam, cherry on top coffee. That's my own personal thing. You want to go to Starbucks and make them rich and eat sugar? Go right ahead. But me, nope. Anyway, the point is, if you're hungry, shortly after you get up and you're at work, you're driving, you're at your desk, whatever you do for a living, it might have been a good idea not to skip that breakfast, okay? Schedule every phone call in advance. That'd be great. I can't do it, though, but I guess if you're highly productive people, if you're going to be a highly productive person, they schedule things in advance. Well, that'd be great. I would definitely say that. Yeah, schedule meetings. I hate when people call me on a meeting and it's not an emergency for like in an hour. Because meanwhile, I have things I had planned to do. My day has been organized, and you kind of whack me out a little bit there. The point is, as much as possible, I guess they're saying, organize, anticipate calls, meetings, etc. A major distraction for a lot of people is your phone. If you're checking it because you're on a dating app or you're checking Facebook or Instagram or whatever app you love to look at, TikTok, YouTube, it's a list of things. I'm surprised anybody gets anything done anymore with a lot of distractions. But you know what? If not, turn your phone off, put it away, lock it in a Faraday box, or give it to a responsible person to hold. But I definitely would try not to. I wouldn't turn it off because I can't turn mine off. There is an off button, but I just don't because of my job. But the point is, don't be distracted by your phone. Either I would set some time that says, okay, once an hour, once every 2 hours, I'll look at it, but look at it at intervals that are scheduled versus every second. Never read a news site more than once. I think what they're saying is maybe just go back and look at some of the things in general. Let's see here. The problem with investing a ton of time reading the news all morning is that you create a habit of distraction. I think what he's saying is maybe glance at the news in the morning and don't read all day. You're retired, you want to sit on the porch and read all day? Go for it. If you're working, you got to be productive. I think what he's saying is glance at the Wall Street Journal in the morning, maybe put WGN News on, but then when you go to work, that's it, okay? And lastly, avoid the downers. Well, yeah, of course. We talked about that before. Those who are super productive tend to avoid the procrastinators in the office, the curmudgeons who don't finish anything, the complainers who act like the world is out to make them feel miserable. Nod at them in the hallway, avoid them, okay? And again, that goes back to keeping positive things in your life. You want to be productive every morning? Cut out the distractions, have a good breakfast, be organized, and maybe cut out the negative folks, which I guess would be a distraction as well. According to John Brandon of Inc.com, that's 8 things highly productive people do every day. Well, as I mentioned, folks, this is Improv Leadership with your host, Ted Schneider, coming to you live from the Round Lake Beach Metro Station every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you didn't pay attention or haven't been listening, after me from 7 to 8 is Bob Slipke on the Info Explorer radio show. So you can keep it right here. We're going to switch gears here a little bit because I'm a guy and I'm a little older, a teeny bit older. 10 ways for men to prevent cancer. Now, I don't think you can prevent cancer, all right, but here's some things that might not lead you down that path as quickly as perhaps others. And it's probably a good idea to do some of these things. There was a University of Vermont study that saw the fittest men were 68% less likely to develop lung cancer, 38% less likely to develop colon cancers than the least active men. It makes sense. Okay. Activity, cardio, resistance training helps control inflammation and hormone levels and keeps your immune system strong to fend off wayward cells. Sounds like Kansas, my wayward son. But anyway, number 1 is sweat daily. All right. You want to prevent cancer, and this is men, but I would think it's got to be pretty close for women too, is activity. Do some cardio, do some weight training, do some stretching. It can't hurt. From heart disease to cancer, I would think sweating daily, raising your heart rate, as well as keeping active is a good thing. Number 2, skip anything fried. Yep. I remember reading this a long time ago. Men have a 37% higher risk of prostate cancer, according to a study from the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center in Seattle, by the amount of French fries, fried chicken, fried fish, fried donuts, once or more a week. 37% higher risk of prostate cancer. Again, oils that are heated to high temperatures develop carcinogenic compounds in food. So, yeah, I don't know how KFC stays in business. You want to eat there, go right ahead. But I try to reduce at least, or greatly reduce, the amount of fried foods. And don't get me wrong, French fries, anything you throw. You can throw a nasty vegetable that you might not always eat or otherwise eat. You fry that baby, and boom, okay? But in general, you want to reduce your risk of cancer. Skip some of the fried stuff. Researchers at the University of Wisconsin in Madison found that pomegranate juice may stunt lung cancer growth. So pomegranate, and that's pretty big now. You see a lot of that out there. I can't think of the brand, but it's in a glass, and it's kind of a weird shaped bottle. So pomegranate juice is very good because it's rich in a lot of things that help fight cancer. So we won't even go into those things. We won't even go there. It would take me too long to try to pronounce some of this stuff. But sip 16 ounces of this juice a day, and it may team up to fight cancer. Get screened. You know what? There is screening for almost every kind of cancer there is. My favorite, colonoscopies. Trust me, you get to kind of flush the system out. You get to nap for like 20 minutes, and, people get to play around and take pictures of you while you are in a semi-conscious state. But, again, history of colon cancer, so it's a good idea to have that taken care of after you're 50. If you have not had a colonoscopy and you're over 50, I would make one today. Seriously, it's a good idea. Snacking on blueberries. The blueberries are brimming with a compound called, who knows? But it may slash precancerous lesions in the gut. Left unchecked, could lead to colon cancer. So Rutgers University researchers say, aim for a cup and a half of blueberries every day, pour them over your cereal, snack on them fresh, or dump them into a smoothie. So trust me, blueberries are brimming with a compound that may slash precancerous lesions in the gut. Befriend fiber. Nothing wrong with fiber. People on a high fiber eating plan, like say 17 grams per 1,000 calories, had a 19% decrease in kidney cancer risk compared with those who took in the least. That was a study in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition that found that. Fiber may block, it's may, so there's no guarantees in life, may block cancer-causing toxins from traveling from your intestines to your kidneys. this study, again, according to the Clinical Nutrition Journal. Get help to stop snoring. People with severe sleep apnea, snoring is the main symptom, are almost 5 times as likely to die of cancer. Those who snooze more soundly, according to researchers at the University of Wisconsin-Madison School of Medicine and Public Health. With sleep apnea, levels of oxygen in your blood dips, can cause small existing tumors to grow into new blood vessels, giving them fuel to develop faster and spread through your bloodstream. Also, if you are snoring, you're probably disturbing your partner. Unless you live alone, and then I guess you're not going to disturb the dog. Standing up, of course. We talked about that before. Sitting is the new smoking. 92,000 cases of cancer a year could be blamed on sitting too much. A study by the American Institute for Cancer Research suggests even if you exercise regularly, you're still at risk. So guess what? Get up and move, people. Also, down the sunshine vitamin. We're always talking about that. Supplement your diets with at least 1,000 IUs of vitamin D. And lastly, go nuts. Brazilian nuts, as an example, deliver healthy selenium. According to a Harvard study, found that this is associated with a 48% lower incidence of advanced prostate cancer. So some quick tips for men to try to prevent cancer. Again, this is WRLR 98.3 FM, the voice of Lake County, Improv Leadership with your host, Ted Schneider. If you don't believe me, listen to this.
You're listening to 98.3 FM, WRLR LP, Round Lake, Illinois.
See, I told you, WRLR 98.3 FM, coming to you live from the Round Lake Beach Metro Station, Improv Leadership with your host, Ted Schneider. Well, we've talked about a bunch of things, self-help, and we talked about some things to also keep you from getting cancer. Well, you know what? We've got another 10 minutes or so left. 20 tiny thoughts crushing your biggest dreams. It's ultimately only your own thoughts that can hurt you. So sometimes you have these tiny thoughts that can crush your largest dreams. Train your mind to see the good in things. Positivity is a choice. The happiness of your life, as an example, depends on the quality of your thoughts. Again, mental illness, I'm sure, and some of the issues can be prevented if you don't start the path of the negative. So here's 20 thoughts it might be time to change. Again, because these thoughts can be crushing some of your dreams. Number 1, my dreams and goals can wait. Live a life you're proud of. In the end, your greatest fear should not be a failure, but succeeding in things that don't matter to you. So yeah, your goals and dreams can't wait. Now, if you put your kids through school and now, you're an empty nester, as an example, you had other priorities, great. But at some point in your life, you have to realize that your dreams and goals can't wait. Time's up soon. And the next thing they talk about, some of the tiny thoughts, I don't have time. That is the biggest, couldn't think of the word, one of the biggest excuses that people have, or more frequently thought of, I don't have time. You have time to exercise. You have time to sleep, time to eat right. Unless you're working 5 jobs, you should have enough time to do what you need to give the life you're looking for. Another thought that crushes your dreams, I'm not talented enough. Well, you know what? A lot of times, hard work is a substitute for skill and talent. A lot of times, having some perseverance, a little bit of grit, a little bit of, I can do this. It's going to take me a little longer than maybe someone with a more talent. So never tell yourself you're not talented enough. Now, in my case, playing the guitar, I'm not talented enough. My fingers just can't get around that neck, okay? Or maybe there's something weird going on, but barring that, you are talented enough to do anything you want. The problem is too big to solve. Well, then guess what? Break it down. Take it a little bit at a time. I'm not ready yet. You're always ready. A lot of times we've give ourselves excuses. Well, I don't have time. I'm not ready. I got to prepare. Sure, I get it. All right. If you're going to give a speech in front of 1,000 people, you should prepare. You might not be ready at some point. But if you wait till you're ready, you'll never do anything. I wish I knew I wasn't good enough. Again, you know what? Self-doubt, take it out of your head. Focus on the positive. And that goes for relationships, that goes for work, that goes for your mental or your physical goals. I'm a failure? Sure. I mean, look at the story of Thomas Edison, right? How many times did he, scrap what he did and kept going to produce the light bulb? Sure, we're all going to fail. But guess what? Learn from those failures. Learn from some of the negative, and don't do it again. You touch the stove once when you're a kid, you know not to touch the stove when it's hot. Duh. Or a curling iron. Ever touch a curling iron? Whoa. I'm telling you, yeah, Zap City. I want everything to be easy. Me too. But guess what? Life isn't fair. Life won't be easy. Life isn't going to be what you expect. But you can change things. Again, what we talked about before. Focus on things you have control over. Focus on your strengths. Don't dwell on your weaknesses. They have it so much easier than me. Sure. He does this, she does that. Sometimes social media blows out of proportion what really is going on in the world. So guess what? Don't subscribe to it. I have nothing to be thankful for. I have nothing to be thankful for. There's a little voice you need to crush. Because guess what? You probably have a ton of things to be thankful for. You just don't take the time to think about them. I have too many flaws. You know what? Define too many. Again, I think a lot of times, if you're comfortable in your own skin, even your flaws look beautiful, right? They don't have what it takes either. We have enough critics. Be an encourager. One sincere word of encouragement after failure is worth more than a day of praise after success. That's true. A lot of times, you have to cheer people on around you. And guess what? They might be a cheerleader for you someday as well. My closest relationships can wait. If you never stop to enjoy who's beside you, someday you realize you've wasted all those years looking for something, kind of a trophy you think you'll get, when only it's really enough, and when you think you're enough to deserve it. So again, I wouldn't wait. You find out one day you wake up and you're over 60 years old and go, wait a second, how did this happen? How did I graduate high school over 40 years ago? How is this possible, that my children are in the 30s? It blows me away. The point is, when you wake up and realize you're 50 or 60 or even 30 or 40, you want to know how you got there. And you want to know that path that got you there is something that you at least have control over, or you're on the path you want to be on. I can break my promise just this once. One thing that bothers me is people that are not committed. All right? Commitment means staying loyal and keeping your promises long after the time and mood you made the promises has left you. Doing so is vital to relationships and long-term success in every imaginable walk of life. So guess what? You commit to something, do it. And that's exactly why the ringtone on my phone for my kids is a classic Yoda. And let's see if I can find it here. Hold on a second here. Well, it's Yoda going, do or do not. There is no try. Because do or do not, there is no try. It's true, right? In other words, make a commitment and keep it. And trying gets you nowhere. Trying, as someone once told me, is reaching for a pen and you're not touching it, you're not grabbing it. It's like a suspended state. And when someone says, I'm trying, no. Make a commitment, keep it, follow through. One little lie couldn't hurt. Lying is a vicious disease. So, I guess the article talking about how you can crush your biggest dreams if you continue to lie to people. Because you're only lying to yourself at some level. I refuse to cry. Author says we need never be ashamed of our tears. Don't apologize if you're ashamed for crying. Without that emotion, you're only a robot. You'll find as life goes on, if you've experienced life, that things change. And sometimes, there's a reason to cry. Trust me. I refuse to forgive. You know what? I've done the best I can over the years. No matter how many people have wronged me or have cheated me or have done horrible things to me, I've not necessarily forgiven them, but I've let it go. So I'm not sure if that's the same thing. But the bottom line is, it's not a bad idea to, move on sometimes. And lastly, my heart has been broken too many times to take new risks. Well, you know what? In business, in relationships of the heart, work, no matter what it is, you know what? You fall off that horse, you get burned a little bit, you brush yourself off, maybe put some ice on it, and you move on. Again, some simple thoughts, some tiny thoughts that can crush your largest dreams. Well, folks, this is Improv Leadership with your host, Ted Schneider, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on WRLR 98.3 FM, the voice of Lake County, coming live from the Round Lake Beach Metro Station. I'll be here every Tuesday trying to bring up topics of self-help, motivation, maybe some health, things that you can use, hopefully. If nothing else, if there's one nugget from what I talked about today that you walked away from, then I've succeeded. Folks, have a great night. Take care. And again, Bob Slipke's on next from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Info Explorers. Take care. Have a good night.
took one look at you, and it was plain to see you were my destiny.
With arms open wide, I threw away my pride. I'll sacrifice for you, dedicate my life to you. I'll go where you lead, always there in time of need.
WRLR 98.3 FM.